Hey guys, welcome back to the Study Survival podcast with study tricks, tips, and study hacks that stick. I nailed that, didn't I?
I love that rhyming scheme. It is brilliant every single time. Every time I hear it is amazing.
How are you doing today?
I am doing very well. Things are going all right for me.
good.
Life's good. You know, yeah. How about you? Are you doing okay?
I'm great. I'm really excited for this new structure that we've got going on during this podcast.
Come on.
We're gonna do a study tip at the start. We're gonna react to a Reddit post, a study.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, awesome.
Yes.
And then we're gonna do a deep dive in a specific topic. Maybe some tips for parents.
Yes.
And then we'll have to wait till next week.
I mean, literally, my assumption is that everyone's listening.
Every single person.
If you're 60 years old, this is perfect for you. For your grandkids, this is literally perfect.
And it's perfect for you as well.
Oh, thank you.
Specifically.
Thank you. I'll take it. I appreciate it. I'm glad that it's good for me.
So what's our study snippet today?
Okay, right. We're going to hit the typical RPF. And I say typical because literally no one knows it. So I just made it up.
What's an RPF?
RPF stands for recall, practice, feedback. All right, that's what we've got to do whenever when we're studying. If you do this every day, then you're making your way forward toward the grade that you're looking for. Recall, practice, feedback. And the goal is to try and get to 80% recall. Essentially what that means is you would look at your notes, you would put them away, you try to recall the thing that you've learned, and then you try to answer a question. Based on that, you haven't even looked at your notes yet. You try to answer a question. If it's not really working out for you, then you know, okay, I don't know the content well enough. You go back to your notes and you repeat. So you get that feedback on how well you are and what you've known about your notes. And then you repeat again. So recall, practice, feedback all the time.
So you look at your notes for 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Maybe it's a topic?
I'd probably even say less than that. Look at them for 2 minutes. Boom.
Bam.
And
put it away.
Then what do I remember of what I've learned? And then do a question. The first time, you're probably not going to get any questions right.
Yeah.
But the more you do that for 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Wow.
All of a sudden, within those 20 minutes, you're a pro at that. It's all about bite-sized incremental growth as opposed to a large, I'm going to consume this meal type of thing. Yeah.
That's very cool. So you look at your notes, put them away. Do you write down everything you remember about it? Do you speak it out loud?
Yeah, it depends how you learn. So different people learn differently. Back in the day, for me, I would have literally written it all down. That 1 minute or 2 minutes I spent reading, I would have written down everything that I remember. But I know other people who've done really well and they just speak it out over and over and over again. And even though this is a podcast in which it requires a lot of talking, I tend not to speak out that much. I'm all about writing. I put all my thoughts into paper and it helps me. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So if someone is a different type of learner, they might be able to say everything they remember into a voice note.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Or for visual learners, they might write it. But the thing that really helps them is to highlight the keywords based on what they've written. Highlight it in different colors or draw the diagrams or whatever. Whereas for me, I might not even want to draw the diagram, or the diagram's pretty rubbish that I draw in comparison. And I just describe what the diagram says. And that is sufficient for reading and writing type of learners.
That's awesome. Great. So that's a study snippet.
That is snippet.
We're going to do one of those every week.
Yes,
is that right?
Literally every week. If you apply this as a student and parent, if you tell your children to apply this, it will work. And it's not too overwhelming for them as well. It's great.
That's great. And then they can tell their nan, and then the nan can tell the parent, and then it can just cycle around.
We just cycle around. I want great grandparents writing notes about this. Yes.
That's why we're doing.
That's how we know you've succeeded.
Great. So that was our study snippet.
Yes.
Good job, Arnold. That was great. Okay.
Appreciate it.
What are we looking at now?
Okay, we are now going to go on to my favorite part, which is out-of-pocket things that students say.
Wow.
Absolutely crazy things. What I've done is I've scoured through Reddit and the student room, and I've come up with a list of crazy things that some students have said. To be honest, I actually was held back a little bit. The person who wants us to remain as a business, Will, has helped me out by not putting in the most inappropriate things that students have said. But nonetheless, it's still going to be outrageous and funny stuff that people have been saying to us.
Love it. Okay. So this is the type of stuff that keeps teachers awake at night, Arnold.
Yes, I think it's the type of stuff that actually gives teachers a reason to go into school.
Oh, okay.
It's like, it might be the same thing repeated each time, but when a student says this kind of thing, it's like, oh, okay. That's why I love working with kids. Yeah. That's what it's all about. And the first one was, there was this story of a chemistry teacher, and this is actually fun. I did this in school. You get to create aspirin. And the story was of a student who saw the aspirin that they made, and it wasn't in a like nice circular thing, but was just about to eat it. And the teacher had to, hey, stop. And they said, well, can we not eat it? And that was it.
There we go.
That was less outrageous than what when I read it, it seemed like it was crazy, but it wasn't that outrageous in the end.
Wow.
But you shouldn't be eating aspirin that you've made in the lab in chemistry.
Now we know.
It ain't right.
So don't do that.
It's so impure.
Wow.
Don't do it.
That was the most outrageous jaw-dropping story I've ever heard in my life.
Yes, let me see if I can redeem myself.
Oh, do you have another one?
Yes, I got one more. Oh my goodness. Wow. So there was a question on a GCSE biology paper. And essentially it was asking the question on how they could improve the pork's quality. It was talking about food, it was talking about pork, and obviously the way in which you improve that quality is by making sure that you wash it beforehand, etc. Okay. But one teacher loved the answer that one of the students gave, because that student said, well, why don't you just take it to the gym, cause it to run around a little bit, and the pork quality will be a lot better.
Is that not a good answer?
No.
Why not?
No.
Come on. Take your pigs to the gym.
It's true. Take your pigs to the gym. That's the advice you should be giving.
Make them produce more meat.
Yes. Do you know this segment should actually be called "Disappoint Will" with the action. With the outrageous things.
That's so what I would want to that question.
I think that's what we're going to change the segment to. How can we disappoint Will? With actually mediocre things that students say, but I hype it up to be one of the most incredible things that students say.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, we better talk about some study skills.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about study skills. Let's talk about the main behaviors that students should be doing when they are studying, essentially.
Fantastic.
Now, I've got 6, but I have a feeling that this conversation is not going to allow for all 6 to be had. So probably in another episode, I'm sure we'll be able to cover more. The first behavior that is really, really important for students to have is a daily retrieval.
Okay.
Yes. Now, the brain works best by constantly repeating things. When things are repeating, the brain notices patterns. And when the brain notices patterns, it stores itself within long-term memory. You've got to try and find the patterns within the stuff that you're learning. That's why cramming tends not to work, because you haven't yet found that pattern of what's going on in your learning. You remember snippets of the stuff that you've learned, but it's not enough for you to actually be able to remember everything. So by having little daily retrievals every single day, have a, what's the small thing?
Flashcards?
Have flashcards with all of the content that you want to put in there, or a small amount of content that you want, and just retrieve some of that daily. One thing that actually I've helped some students do is putting their flashcards into 7-day piles. So then on Monday, they recap these things, on Tuesday, recap another thing, and Wednesday, and so on. And they literally just retrieve that knowledge each day.
That's awesome. So there's a lot of content you have to learn in GCSEs.
Yes.
So are you suggesting you put all of that content
in
flashcards?
Yes.
and then go through all of them every day. Like, how would you break that down?
I wonder how many like words or characters you'd need per topic to be able to fit everything into a double-sided flashcard.
That would be crazy.
It would be. Maybe in your next live class, you should put that in.
I'll just do it. I'll just sit and I'll do it, and I won't stop until I've done
all
it
the kids will be asking, so are we going to start learning?
Yeah, I won't even say anything to the camera. I'll just do them.
Yes. Yeah, that'll be good. Anyway, to answer your question, you were saying, is it, should we get everything, all that piece of knowledge, right, into one? No. The best way to get knowledge into a flashcard is you still need all the information that's in your workbook, in your textbook. It's so important to have that. But what you can do is you can take a segment of that information and put it into a flashcard. You might then have 3 or 4 flashcards per topic. And my recommendation would be to do that and then whittle it down into maybe 2 flashcards per topic.
Nice.
But don't do that first. Don't try and think, how can I make this smaller and create 2 flashcards? It's better to just get all the information into your flashcards and then make it smaller, because at least you gather that knowledge.
Okay, nice. So you go through, maybe you've got your textbook in front of you, and then you go, okay, are you suggesting writing down all of that knowledge into flashcards?
Pretty much.
Yeah, nice.
That's right.
And then you'd probably go through that topic, and then the flashcards that you keep getting stuck on, that would join this like daily bunch of flashcards that you're going through every day.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
And then the great thing is once you remember that, you feel a sense of achievement because you can move it off. And then at one point, you will actually study the whole thing. And again, you will start to realize what gaps do you have in your knowledge. Daily retrieval is really, really important for remembering the content.
And that's probably better for sciences over English, for example.
Yes.
Because there's only little bits of knowledge that you have to learn in English. And maths. Like, how many definitions do you need to know in maths? A handful.
Yes.
Right? Those are more about practicing. So we've got our sort of first step of studying, would you say is maybe trying to learn the content for the first time, and then like active recall, and then exam practice? Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Always you've got to finish with exam practice. Sometimes, though, you might not necessarily have space every day to do exam practice. That's why being able to do daily recall is really, really important.
Brilliant.
The thing with the English stuff, which I found really interesting, one student actually was teaching me more than I was teaching them when it comes to English. For them, what they decided to do is English A-level. Every single Saturday, they would look at a piece of text that they're learning in English, and then they would write a flashcard on a small segment of that piece of text as well. And that way they're constantly learning how to assess the stuff that they've learned and put it into essay format, but a small essay because it's flashcard style, which helped them quite a bit. So that's how you can use flashcards, even from an English perspective, by writing mini essays each time. You just don't need to recall. It's more like a weekly mini essay writing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So just doing flashcards isn't enough to prepare for exams, right? So what would you recommend doing maybe alongside those daily retrieval flashcards?
I mean, this is stuff that is even more accessible now than ever. When me and you were studying, we wouldn't have been able to do this, but students now literally have this in their palm of their hands, and that's the use of AI to create exam-style questions based on the stuff that they're learning. So what would have happened in the past is we would have found topic-specific questions. But sometimes you haven't finished learning the whole topic. So how is it that you can actually answer those questions? But if you use AI to say, this is the stuff that I've been learning and help me to apply that into an exam, then that is the second piece. Essentially exam-aligned preparation or practice.
That's great. Or you could join Bright Teach and we could send them to you physically through your door, and then go through the answers in live classes in the evenings.
True. We solve these problems for you, so it's great. It's brilliant. Yes, nonetheless, being able to get that knowledge and apply it into exams and tailoring it into your particular knowledge base, I think it's top tier.
Yeah. You can write the right thing in your exam and still get the question wrong. It's infuriating. I'm like, okay, I've written something correct here that answers the question, but because it's not what they were looking for in the mark scheme, you don't get the marks.
Yes.
That's why you've got to do exam practice.
Yes.
Wow.
But I think what you've done there, Will, is brilliant, because you have now led us quite nicely into my third point, which is mark scheme mimicry.
Okay.
We've all been there. You literally just said it. We know the answer to the question. And you see, let's say this is the most disappointing. It's not even getting 0 marks. It's when you see a 6 marker, you think, I literally bossed this question. And then your teacher gives you the paper back and it says 2 marks. And you think, miss, you've done me dirty. I don't like what you've done here.
Yeah.
And the reason is because you don't know what the mark scheme actually requires of you. And it's really, really important to do that.
So would you say go and do some exam questions, get the mark scheme up? Like maybe do the exam questions in exam conditions. And then after you've done that, go over to the mark scheme and mark yourself.
Yes.
Be like, oh, I used this word instead of this word, so I wouldn't have got the mark.
Yes. I mean, to tell you the truth, like for students who are looking to get maybe a B for the A levels, A star, or a 6, 7, 8, 9 for GCSEs, the best thing for you to do, it's going to sound crazy, but essentially is to create a table, either literally on paper or, Google Sheets, Excel, whatever, and write down the question that you got wrong, write down your answer, write down the mark scheme, and then assess what keywords you didn't put in.
Wow.
Those 4 columns I think I mentioned, those 4 columns are going to help you be top tier in being a mark scheme master.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yes, I know. Helping students through that and them realizing that, the mark scheme wanted this type of keyword as opposed to that keyword. I mean, it's typical. In A-level biology, it's definitely the case. In GCSE, biology, chemistry, physics is also the case where, for example, you might want to talk about respiration. Or even better yet, you might want to talk about osmosis. I say even better yet because I remember what the mark scheme says for this one.
Nice.
Osmosis. Osmosis is the net movement of water molecules from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration down the concentration gradient through a semi-permeable membrane.
Excellent.
Now, what people tend to forget is that phrase, through a semi-permeable membrane. That's already a mark gone. It's literally gone right there.
Wow.
The second thing is people forget to say down the concentration gradient. So what people might say is that osmosis is the movement of water from one area to another. They might get a mark for saying water, but the rest of it has really failed because even though that's technically right, it's not exactly what the mark scheme's looking for.
Yeah, and sometimes they're looking to try and draw out a specific bit of information from you, and they'll put that in the mark scheme. But then the question isn't exactly asked in the way for you to answer that.
Yes.
So you can start to, by doing what you've described, you can start to spot patterns in the exam and go, oh, they're looking for me to say this, and then you can just say, through a semi-permeable membrane.
Yes, exactly.
You're like, they just want me to spew out that bit of knowledge.
Yeah. That's right. And sometimes questions, let's say a full question, like question 2, right, is split into A, B part 1, B part 2. And you know that at the beginning of question 2 is going to be talking about osmosis. What I did, this was super cheeky because you can never lose marks, is I just started to write keywords within all the answers of the previous question.
Yep.
Semi-permeable membrane. Look at this table. We might say, look at this table and deduce what it says. I don't care, semi-permeable membrane. Because I know at some point it's going to ask me to put in that answer.
Yeah.
So I don't want to forget it. So I put it in all the answers beforehand.
Such a good idea. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a really good last minute exam tip. Especially if you haven't revised well, is just be like, okay, it's asking me a question on forces. I'm just going to put everything I know about forces because I'm not exactly sure what it's trying to get out of me.
Yes.
So I'm just going to,
Yes.
Forces, mass times acceleration.
Yeah, exactly. You can't lose marks. So just put that in and everyone's happy.
Fantastic. Oh, that's awesome.
Appreciate
I feel like people can revise everything now.
Yeah. We're going to make them superstars through this podcast.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So valuable.
Come on.
That's awesome. So we've actually got a new section of the show now.
Yes, we do.
Called the Parent Pit Stop. Now, this is tips to tell your grandparents to tell their children. Is that right?
who are the parents.
Oh.
And those parents need to tell their children.
Okay, right.
Yes.
This is for the parents.
This is for the...
This isn't for students to tell their grandparents to tell.
No.
Sorry, I got confused.
Yeah, well,
It was a...
we got there in the end.
It
We
was
just
a
took the
mistake
long
that,
way around.
you know.
That's fine. It's all good. Nice
Sweet.
one. Yes, we're at the parent pit stop. Indeed.
So how can parents ensure that their child will achieve GCSE success?
Our parent tip of the week is small wins. I feel like today's a very small thing.
Okay.
So you don't know this, but it actually goes a long way to have small things celebrated. As a student, as a child, the parents celebrating small things goes a very, very, very long way. Now, what I've seen some parents do, and I believe there's a correlation between what the parents do and the outcomes that the child has, is they would celebrate a small win. So it might be, look, I've noticed that you've studied for 5 days this week. Do you know what? I'm going to take it to McDonald's. Why don't we do that? It mightn't even have to be like a monetary return. It could be you smashed it by the fact that you did all of those questions. The more involved a parent is, without it obviously being too overbearing, the more of a partnership experience this is for the student.
Awesome. What a great parent tip.
Thank you.
We now have a challenge.
Yes.
For all our listeners, all our 8 listeners, Arnold.
Come on.
To do in the next week. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. What have we got?
So I think that all of our listeners need to just do the RPF. RPF is what I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast. Do the whole recall, practice, feedback. Do that 20 minutes each day. You're going to see such a significant change on the way in which you're learning within just 1 week.
That's awesome. And comment and let us know how it goes.
Yes, like, subscribe, all of that we want to see.
Fantastic. What an amazing episode, Arnold.
Thank you.
That's been
It was
fantastic.
fun. Yeah, I've enjoyed it.
That's good. And we do this to make sure every student reaches their full potential.
Literally, the point of Bright Teach is to make education accessible for everyone.
Wow.
So whether it's free content like this or even really affordable content or the premium stuff, it's available for everyone.
I love that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So we're going to continue doing this. We've got an episode next week.
Yes.
What's that going to be on?
We are going to be diving deeper into the mark scheme and understanding what examiners actually think about.
Excellent. Fantastic. So make sure you're subscribed for more tips, tricks, and study hacks for STEC.
I love it.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.